Is artificial intelligence going to replace yoga teachers? Welcome to my channel, Yoga and Fit with Nadine, and today we're going to explore the intersection of yoga and technology. So I went to ChatGPT to find out how replaceable I am as a yoga teacher, and I let artificial intelligence write a yoga sequence, which I'm going to try out now to see how replaceable I am in the future. Alright, let's get started and ask ChatGPT for a yoga sequence. Write me a sequence for a 30-minute vinyasa yoga class. Sure, here's a 30-minute vinyasa yoga class sequence. Start in mountain pose, Tadasana, and take a few deep breaths. So far, so good. Move into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and take 5 deep breaths. Right away down into downward facing dog. Okay. Step or jump to the front of your mat and come into plank pose. Wait a second, I'm already in downward facing dog. I would not need to jump or move forward to the top of my mat to come into plank pose. We'll continue. Lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank, and then upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Okay, that's at least correct. Move back to downward facing dog and take 5 breaths. Step or jump to the front of your mat and come into lunge pose. Anjaneyasana on one side, then on the other. Jumping from downward facing dog into lunge pose. I would not recommend that. Come back to mountain pose from lunge. Okay, then move into warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1 on one side, then the other. Okay. Come back to mountain pose. Then move into triangle pose, Trikonasana, on one side, then the other. Once again, I would not do that straight away from mountain pose, but use a warrior 2, for example, to transition into that. Oh wow. Move into half pigeon pose, Ardha Kapotasana on one side, then on the other. Okay, again, no transitions, no guidance from one pose to the next. Come back to mountain pose. Wait a second, we were just all the way on the floor in half pigeon and we come back up all the way to standing. Then move into child's pose, Balasana, for a few deep breaths from a standing pose. Sit in easy pose, Sukhasana, or cross-legged for a few deep breaths. Well, this is actually the same. Sukhasana is cross-legged. And then come into corpse pose, Shavasana, for a final relaxation, which you will need after the sequence, and jumping into your lunges. It's important to remember that this is just a sample sequence and you should always listen to your body and modify as needed. Also, always remind your students to take rest whenever they need it. Okay, at this point, I have to admit that this was not the first time I tried out if ChatGPT can write a sequence, and some sequences actually came out pretty good. But it's important to understand what ChatGPT is. ChatGPT is essentially a language model that uses deep neural network to generate human-like text. So what does that mean? It's a database that is trained on books, articles, websites, uses the training to learn the patterns and structures of natural language to then put it together as new with what it's known and what would make most sense to use next. That also means that anything that is generated can hardly ever be completely new. So essentially everything that's coming from ChatGPT has already existed in whatever form, even though the technology is great and is definitely going to make our lives faster in certain ways. It's not going to be able to replace the personal touch or the human touch. So it can't, or maybe not yet, replace a yoga teacher with the qualification and the knowledge we're having, really knowing what comes after what in a sequence, and also spicing it up and making it more creative. And to be honest, that's what I like about taking new yoga classes, is that it's not always the same thing or very repetitive, but that there's a new creative way of flowing through the sequence. If you want to now go ahead and practice a real sequence done by me, I'm linking you my latest video right here. Stay tuned, or maybe subscribe to find out how ChatGPT is actually doing with meditations, because that's what I'm going to try next. See you then.